Hey Virgos, it's your Empress Divine Miss Tasha Turner herself. Welcome to Queendom Come. Let me get this stream pulled up on my phone.
Miss Tasha Turner herself.
Yeah, so I can follow along. Okay. Yes, I'm back. I'm back. I took a brief hiatus. It wasn't very brief, but anyway. I'm back. Went through eclipse season, got my bearings, and I am back. And hopefully, I can do you an even better reading because I've done my own spiritual work and can hopefully give you something even more clear. The tarot checkup is has changed a bit. I do things a little bit differently, but I feel like they're actually more thorough this way. And just to kick it off, I draw two of the Goddess Guidance cards. And just to save time, I went ahead and shuffled and laid out the spread anyway. But with the two Goddess Guidance cards, what they are in my mind are like bookends for your month. So at the top of the month, you have here the Sekhmet card with Be Strong. And then in the latter half of the month, you have Imanya with the Golden Opportunity card. So at the start of November, what the goddess is telling you is they're delivering a message about strength. Like wherever you may feel like you are weak, or wherever you feel like you can't do something, or wherever you're selling yourself short, this is a card that's about, okay, buck up. You can do this. And it says you are stronger than you think you are, and your strength assures a happy outcome. So if there's something that feels hard for you, something that's just like weighing heavily on your mind and you want to do it, but for whatever reason, it's just like you talk yourself out of it, or you don't allow yourself to, fully commit to whatever it is that you want to do. This is I'm sorry, let me close my door. My kid's wild. This is just saying that you can do it. You're probably stronger than you give yourself credit for. So don't sell yourself short on anything. Then on the latter half of the month, you have this golden opportunity card that says, important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them. A golden opportunity is not something that comes around often. Yeah, you'll have opportunities, you'll have chances to do things, you'll be able to get in where you fit in on, certain occasions. But a golden opportunity, something that is already lined in gold, something that is already prosperous, is just an opportunity that you need to take. It's there for you. And it's something that if you choose to walk through that door, you have great blessings ahead of you. So that's something to keep watch out as you get toward the latter end of November. I'll set these two goddess guidance cards off to the side because they probably will be making, repetitive features as I go through the rest of the cards of your reading. Now, just each of these card placements have a correlation with the astrological houses and the energies of each of those houses. And I'll go through that, but just off first glance with the way these cards are spread out, just to jump it off, I see these two eights here. And when I see the double numbers right behind each other, to me, that is like double the energy, something that needs to be paid more attention to. And we have the Eight of Swords, which is in some way you feeling restricted or restrained or imprisoned. I feel like it's a mental prison. Like maybe you are self-sabotaging. You're talking yourself out of something that you're perfectly capable of doing. Like you are keeping yourself from excelling. This Eight of Staffs is like a quick fire energy. Something could pop off. Something is already brewing. It's already awaiting your arrival, but you sit there without handcuffs on you and act as if you are shackled. And there's literally nothing holding you back but your own inner turmoil, your own anxiety, your own low vibrational thoughts that keep you from getting to it. With this Eight of Staffs card, that's everything is already in line. All you have to do is like throw it. That little bit of action, that throwing action, that's literally all you have to do because they're already lined up. Everything is already lined up the way it needs to be. And here you are sitting amongst swords that you could easily back away from. Staying in an emotional state that does not serve you. There is, to me, is a theme of like victimhood, where you could have, yeah, experienced some things before, but only you can choose to be a victim. There's a difference between somebody committing a wrong against you, somebody doing something wrong to you, and being a victim. Yeah, you may have been assaulted, but if you remain a victim for the rest of your life, that's your choice. You didn't choose the assault, but you choose to remain a victim. And I feel like that's a very important topic to discuss here with y'all, especially with this goddess guidance card saying be strong. Like, you are not a victim. You are a victor. You're victorious. You can do this. You just have to get out of your head. And it's time. You have this judgment card. It's time. It's time for you to do it. It's time for you to stop crying over spilled milk with this 5 of cup cards up here. There's no point in thinking about, what happened in the past, when all you really need to do is worry about creating your present, moving into your future with a positive attitude. The major arcana cards here, you have 4 of them. So that tells me that November will be a very impactful month. I think it'll be that way for all of us because of the 1111 energy that will be like throughout the whole month of November. There's this potential for big energetic shifts in people's lives. But for Virgo, with all of these major arcana cards, you have judgment, meaning it's time. You're being called forth. It's time to perform, go hard or go home. You have the high priestess, where you know inwardly what it is that you need to do. You have justice, where you're being, I guess, prompted to keep your heart light, to let go of that which does not serve you, to let go of grudges, or to let go of self limiting beliefs, to let go of destructive patterns, do your own self justice. And then you have the lover's card, which is about making that, commitment. It's about making a decision. Everything is a choice. You choose whether you want to become victorious or remain a victim. So that's what I'm getting from, the bulk of these cards, just in totality. Now I'll go through and give a reading on each individual card placement. And to pop it off, in the first card placement position, we have the Eight of Swords, which we discussed a bit already. The first card placement is about how you come across to others, or how others are seeing you. And it's evident. All of that inner turmoil, all of that, you know, self limiting beliefs, all that negative self talk, all that fear that's holding you back, all of those inhibitions, they're apparent. Whether the people are close to you, or whether they're just, people that meet you for a short amount of time, people can smell anxiety. People can smell fear, especially if they're the more dominant types. If you're around dominant people, they can smell your fear. They can smell that you're somebody to either take advantage of, or you're somebody who will allow them to do some shisty shit, because there's a part of you that's not letting you exert yourself at your full potential. There's like a meekness, there's a passiveness about you. And people can see that. That anxiety you feel when you're talking yourself out of something that you really want, people can feel that. People can see that. And sometimes they feel like, because nothing is really stopping you other than yourself, sometimes that makes them feel like, okay, they don't feel like I'm worth it, or they're not worth it. They could be looking at you like, okay, it's not worth it. I'm not willing to stick around with this person if they gonna bullshit me. They may feel like that about you, when what it really is that you're just holding yourself back for whatever reason. Something has mental strongholds over you. You're holding yourself back, and people can see that. They may not be empathetic about it. They may not want to sit with you and figure out, well, what is it that's causing them to, hold themselves back, to be limited, to not be able to show up for me. Some people will just write you off as being, flaky, or as being somebody who is not solid, who will not show up when you need them to be there. You'll be like reduced and put in a box. And that's another energy of the Eight of Swords, like being reduced to something that you are really much more than. It's like people are limiting you. They limit your capabilities because of you limiting yourself. Like where there may be like this golden opportunity available for you, somebody who's like a gatekeeper with that opportunity may be like, well, nah, maybe we need to choose somebody else because Virgo, they ain't gonna show up the way I need them to show up. They're not gonna be, solid. They'll flake out when I need them to be. They'll have some type of ailment or something when it's time to perform. And you don't want to be written off because you are very much so capable. You're one of the most capable signs in the whole zodiac. There's very little that a Virgo can't do, but you psych yourself out a lot. You psych yourself out a lot, and people see that, especially here in November. In the second card placement, you have the Eight of Staffs. The second card placement is about, your personal possessions. That includes like your bank account, your car, your house, your clothes, your nice little danglies, and this and that and the other, your thingamabobs and all of that. And the Eight of Staffs is saying that all you need to do is just put the work in, and you'll be able to make some significant changes. You'll be able to make very significant changes in terms of your physical possessions if you just put that work in. If you stop thinking about it and just get to it. And I feel like I'm really feeling like a lot of Virgos, when it comes to things like, your money and, securing the bag, getting a house, fixing up stuff, you good on that. You can put the work in. That's easy. That's light work to you. That's the easy stuff, especially being an earth sign. You have the earthly realm 100% on lock. You got that. But when it comes to that mental work and that emotional work, that's when you really get in that Eight of Swords energy where you just lock yourself down. You shut down. You don't even give yourself a chance. But check this though. Everything that you get in the earthly realm and the work ethic that you put into that, it's directly affecting how you is well, not even affecting, it directly correlates with how you feel about yourself. The way you approach anything is how you approach everything. For something, as simple as, I'm gonna fix up my house or I'm going to fix on my car. Yeah, I mean that's easy. You can put the physical work in and do that. And that's a reflection of your self-worth because it's just like, okay, well, these are things that affect me. Nobody else has anything to do with it, so I'm comfortable with it. But when it comes to situations that involve someone else, that's where that self-sabotage come in. And it's a reflection of your lack of confidence in yourself. Because if you're doing work that's only for you, just for you got it. You can lay it down. You get it done. You bust out the work. Do what you need to do. But as soon as it involves somebody else and that element of possibly being judged becomes a part of the equation, it's like you shut down. You don't have the courage to endure the criticism somebody might have about you. Ironically, Virgo is known for criticizing, but can rarely take it when they are criticized. The same way that you bust out the work and get it done for yourself, do the same for other people. Because that it starts to look like a selfishness instead of a inferiority complex or a lack of confidence. It starts to look like downright selfishness when people see how much you'll do for yourself, but when it comes to making something work in a relationship, it's almost like you rest on your laurels and you don't do what you need to do. Now they're looking at you like, well, damn, if you'll give yourself the best, but you half-ass it with me, that's selfishness. or that's a lack of giving a damn about me. And that's going to leave you with that negative, image in people's mind, which goes back to them seeing you in this limited state. Like, there's only so much that I can actually get from Virgo. Well, I'm talking about in November anyway. There's only so much that I can get from Virgo. They'll go to bat and do the most if it only involves them. But the minute I need something from them, they half ass it, or they dragging their feet. That's gonna give people really start to put you in a box. They really start to write you off. And it's not coming from a malicious place on your end, Virgo. It's coming from a place of not having that surefire confidence in yourself in relation to other people. When it's just you cool, you good on your own, you good by yourself. But when it comes to you, like, having to compare yourself, and not even comparing yourself, but when it gets to you and how you relate to others, relate to people outside of yourself, you start to doubt yourself. You start to get fearful. You start to let those self-limiting beliefs take over, and it fucks up your performance, and you're not able to build. So yeah, you can do some things, you can achieve some things on your own by just putting in the work in the physical. But when you really get to, like, the bottom of any confidence issues, that's when your money, your personal possessions, your self-worth, that's when all of that skyrockets. And I feel like you have that opportunity in November. Sekhmet has a lot to has a very similar energy to, like, Leo. And you see those lions here. Sekhmet is a very, like, Leo type of energy, where they're like dead ass confident. Sometimes Leo don't even deserve to have all the confidence they have. Sometimes they just be talking out the side of their neck and don't know whether they can really do it or not, but you'll never know it because they're gonna look confident. I feel like that's the type of energy you need to be borrowing from. Reach back to your former, the sign right before yours, grab a little bit of their confidence and flair, and use it for yourself to achieve whatever golden opportunity is right there in front of you, whatever once in a lifetime chance you have coming to you in November. Harness that. As we move into the third card placement, you have Judgment. The third card placement is about your mentality, how you express yourself, how you communicate with others. In this Judgment card, this is like a big event. That Major Arcana card is a big event. It's a big overshadowing energy for the month. The Judgment is like, okay, you're being tested. You put up or shut up. It's like, yeah, I mean, you make it seem like you can do this and you can do that. But when it's time to be put to the test, I don't need you to have these self limiting thoughts causing you to perform badly. I need you to perform. I need you to really do what you say you're going to do. Show me who you really are. That's going to be a big theme for you here in November. Like, whoever it is that you're communicating with, and this third card placement has a lot to do with people that you stay in close quarters with, like people in your neighborhood or people that you talk to a lot, the people that would or should be able to count on you. It's like, where are you when I need you? I'm calling on you, Virgo. Where are you? You're going to have that going for you here in November. It's up to you to decide whether you're going to show up or you remain, in that box, doubting yourself. It's up to you. In the fourth card position, you have the Five of Cups. In the fourth card position, this is about your home life. This is about family life. It can also hint at relationship with your mother or close female relatives, like siblings or sisters or something, or a grandmother if your grandmother was the person who raised you. And you have the Five of Cups. Somewhere along the line, somebody dropped the ball on you, Virgo. And I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to baby you and put you in a victim position. You don't need no more of that. But somewhere along the line, somebody dropped the ball. Whether it was mom, whether in your home life you felt like an outcast and you weren't really supported and nurtured the way you felt that you needed to be. And that has a lot to do with why, when it comes to your relationships with other people, a lot of times you shut down. You're very unsure and uncertain. It has a lot to do with where you came from, your home life, your family life, and your past. Somebody dropped the ball. I'll say it. Somebody hurt you. Somebody may have abandoned you. It could even be a mother. You felt like you never had a close relationship with your mother. Your mother literally left you when you were a kid. Your, you were left with your grandma and, a house full of other siblings, and you never really got the attention you need. Whatever the situation is, somebody didn't pour into you the way that they should have. Like maybe you were given just enough, but not enough to really flourish, just enough to survive. And that is a shame. It's a shame that that happened, but it happened. And you have to move on from that. You can't spend the rest of your life thinking about the people who didn't fulfill you or didn't pour into you, who didn't nurture you the way you deserved to be nurtured. And yes, I do say deserved, especially when you're a child. Every single child deserves to be nurtured. Jack Canfield, the Chicken Soup for the Soul guy, he in one of his books he said something about a child needs like a minimum of like 8 to 10 hugs a day to flourish. And I feel like a lot of you did not get that type of consistent love on a daily basis, and it has kind of handicapped the way that you relate to other people, the way that you involve yourself with other people when it comes to matters of the heart. So a lot of these issues, a lot of these apprehension about emotional situations, or apprehension about committing to something that it'll require more from you than just the physical work that you're good at. You're good at manual labor, but this type of golden opportunity coming to you is going to require more than just physical labor. It's going to require an emotional strength and a mental freedom that you may not have at the beginning of the month. And I need you to focus on that. I need you to kind of, and I don't mean focus on it to the point of becoming, lost in it, of becoming handicapped by it. I mean, focus on it so that you can heal it. Because there's some healing that needs to take place in the realm of the home. And being that November is a time when a lot of families come together, this could be, that could be your golden opportunity to really fix what's going on with you, to really fix some of the things that have been holding you back from your full potential. In the fifth card position, you have the Six of Coins. The fifth card position has a lot to do with love. I mean, like pure, passionate, I'll give my life for you love. And look at this with this Six of Coins. You have plenty to give, Virgo. You have plenty love to give. You have plenty passion inside of you. The fifth card, or the fifth house energy, relates a lot to children too. If you have your own children, you try your damnedest to give to them in a way that you were not given to. You try to provide for them in a way that they'll never have to miss out on the things that you missed out on. And it's a beautiful thing. You really have the love in your heart. You really can love someone. But a lot of times you won't let yourself do it, holding yourself back, worrying about, being criticized, or worrying about not being enough, because you go back to that feeling as a child where you didn't feel like you were enough, or you didn't feel lovable. And you are. You have so much to give. And check this out, Virgo. Not only is this saying that you're a giver, but the Six of Coins is like an equal give and take card. He is equal down on each hand, has 3 coins, 3 pentacles. This is an equal give and take card. When you allow yourself to open up that vault of love inside of you and freely give it, you get it back. You don't have to go through life feeling like I'll give the world to people and people will never give it back to me. You don't have to go through life feeling like, why won't people love me the way I love them? They don't see the way you love them. You know, everybody don't speak that love language of, pay a bill for me, that means you love me. That Virgos can be very, very, very freaking practical. They'll go fill up your car with gas. That's their way of saying I love you. And some people need to hear it, or they need to feel it. They need to feel you hugging them, holding them, rubbing their face, kissing their neck. They need to feel you, or they need to hear you saying I love you. I care for you. I adore you. I'm here for you. Some people need to feel like they don't need to feel you touching them. They don't need to hear you say nothing to them. They just need to know that you are present. There can't be that flightiness or that sense of, I'm with this person, but hell, I don't know nothing about this person. Because a lot of times that can happen with a Virgo. You could spend all this time with a Virgo, and at the end of the day, when somebody asks you about that person, you be like, I really can't tell you shit about them. Like they were there, but they were not present. Some people's love language requires you to be fully present there with them, to open up to them, to be vulnerable with them. And if you can't give that, you can't get that. So definitely work on that, Virgo, please, this month. Here in the sixth place, and this is your card. That sixth card placement, that's the Virgo placement. That's the Virgo house. Look at this strife. Look at this confusion. Look at this turmoil. Look at this messiness. The Five of Staffs is a lot of messiness. It's a lot of gunk. It's a lot of conflicting energies that need to be sorted out. And that pretty much sums up what I'm talking about this whole reading. It's a lot of energies that need to be sorted out. You need to pick them apart and put them in their place. I feel like this because blase blase. I do this because so and so. Virgo has a need to compartmentalize. So you need to pick apart why you do the things that you do, put them in their appropriate place, then close the chapter on them. Because you gotta clean up this mess, Virgo. This mess gotta be cleaned up. I know you like cleaning up messes. I know you like making stuff more organized. And you do it for other people because it takes the attention off of you. You don't have to deal with your own mess if you can deal with somebody else's mess. And yeah, that works. It tends to work, especially when you're dealing with people who are more outward with their mess. They be out in public acting a hot mess. But you know what though? There's a sense of vulnerability in them. That's a strength. They're strong enough to be outward and loud and proud about their bullshit, about their mess. While Virgo, on the other hand, bottles it all up and lets it kill them. At least the crazy person, they getting that shit out in the atmosphere. They letting it go. You gonna bottle all that shit up until it takes you to your grave. That's not good. This Virgo card, that means it's specifically for you. Clean up that mess, Virgo. Inwardly, clean it up. Do that work. Here we get to the seventh house position, and it's about your relationships, your partnerships, your commitments to other people. And you have the High Priestess. You intuitively know how to take care of people. You intuitively know what needs to be done to keep a relationship going. That's the only way. You have all of this inner gunk happening, and you still manage to get this far in life having the relationships that you've had. You intuitively know what to do. But on the flip side, when you intuitively know what to do and then you don't allow yourself to do it, you sell yourself short. You rob yourself of your own happiness. You block your own manifestation. So really tune in to that intuition in your relationships and don't hold back on it. Don't hold back on it. Also, what this is saying to me is that you're starting to really look for the healing elements in your relationships. And this is more, leaning toward, that family that we were talking about, or those tumultuous relationships in your life that took a real toll on you, the ones that really did some inner damage. I feel like you're really being drawn to them. Like maybe you found yourself clicking on this reading, and you were like, damn, like I was already thinking about that. I was already thinking about, okay, maybe it's time for me to kind of heal some of the mess or some of the relationships or damage from relationships that I had in the past, so that I could be more fruitful going forward in my relationships. So I feel like this is something that you already know. Like I'm not telling you anything new. I don't feel like. I feel like you pretty much already know this. It's just a matter of you executing. Also, high priestess, that could be a Pisces. I'm also feeling the Aquarius because of that too. It could be in February, and that is like Pisces and Aquarius month. You could be talking to an Aquarius who's very like either psychic or like very spiritual, or it is truly a Pisces person, sun, moon, rising, whatever. And they are prompting you or influencing you to take this inward spiritual journey. They make you want to do the hard work. They make you want to answer to the demons, you know, the demons that you just kind of bottled up and kept inside. They make you want to go confront them because I think you feel like this person deserves it, or this person is driving you to a point where you have to confront those demons, especially if you're messing with an Aquarius male. Because them motherfuckers will drive you to the point where you, goddamn. And I'm an Aquarius son, I'm an Aquarius woman. And even I think Aquarius men are, that's they on a whole nother level. They on some other shit. So if you messing with an Aquarius male, sun, moon, rising, whatever, then you may just be in a position where you are being tested. Being in a relationship with him, you're being tested where you have to work on those self-limiting beliefs. You have to do work on yourself in order to deal with that motherfucker. So on to the next card in the eighth house position. You have the Ace of Coins. Now the eighth house position, this is those really deep life-changing events. That golden opportunity is the gold coin here. Something is really popping off in your life right now. Something is coming to fruition in the month of November, and you're gonna want to have your mind right to enjoy it. You're gonna want to have your shit together to enjoy it because it's giving you a boost. It could be a boost in finances, a boost in your stability. It could be moving into the part of the relationship where you no longer have to wonder, do they really care about me? Is it safe for me to pour out all of this love on them? Is it okay for me to really be vulnerable and be myself now? Can I do this? And I feel like this is a big that yes. The Scorpio house, this eighth house placement, eighth house energy is very deep. There's nothing shallow about it. So if you are in a relationship with somebody at this time, especially being that Aquarius or that Pisces energy, depth is gonna be required, because surface level shit is not going to be enough for that type of relationship. This type of relationship is not sustainable on surface level, shallow bullshit. You need to get to the depths of what's going on. And that's actually going to give you more stability. Allowing yourself to be vulnerable will result in more stability, more security for you. In the ninth card position, we have the Queen of Staffs. This lady is very confident, very passionate, hot stuff. People look at her and they see it's a majestic type of energy, a wild card, like a wild woman, someone who can't be tamed, who's 100% sure of herself, very feminine, still very feminine, but assertive. She gets her way not through, raising hell, but through being so attractive that you just can't help but give her her way. And this is the type of energy that you have in the ninth house place, which is like your new experiences. You get to experience a new side of yourself where you are out of this place of, can I do it? Is it safe? What will they think about me? You get out of that and you get to live this new experience as somebody who is like, well, you know what? It is what it is. I am who I am. Take it or leave it. You get to feel what it is to really be confident, not just an outward appearance of confidence or a confidence that is achieved through, you know, accolades for building something or for creating something or doing or organizing some shit or doing what Virgos do. You're not going to be recognized for being the help this time. It's not what you do that causes people to, really be attracted to you. It's who you are this time. That's your new experience here in November. When you have the gall to go within and correct whatever it is that's been holding you back, you get this new experience of being someone who really doesn't have to be afraid of shit. You don't have to hold on to fear. Fear can't conquer you anymore. You conquer fear because you go and you meet whatever it is that you may be apprehensive about. You meet it face on. The staffs or the wand energy, they're no stranger to confrontation. And being the queen of it is not saying that you're out there fighting like aggressively. It's saying that you can put yourself in places where others may feel pressured and you'll still be confident. You can still attract what it is that you want because you are this confident person. And this can also be hinting at you traveling a bit. The ninth house, that is about traveling. The queen of staffs is not really afraid of much of anything. So if it's like you were afraid to make a move for some opportunity, I feel like you'll swallow that fear. You'll go ahead and conquer that. If you've never been on a plane, you're gonna buy that plane ticket in November. I feel like somebody's gonna be learning to ride a motorcycle or riding a motorcycle too. I don't know why that came to my mind, but yeah. A woman on a motorcycle, that's some sexy shit, Virgo. But in the 10th card position, you have the Nine of Swords. The 10th house position, this is career, this is your reputation, this is your legacy, what you're known for. You don't want to be known as that. The Nine of Swords, somebody who is just always beaten down by your own thoughts. You don't want to be known as that. Because this is like an either or energy. Either you can do the work and become that confident person and experience this new side of life, or you can continue being known as the person who is like fearful or, you know, analyzes every single thing to the point of just draining yourself. You don't want to keep doing that. So I feel like you are going through this dark night of the soul where you're having to, in November, you're having to put in the work. You're having to stay up late at night, maybe journaling or paying attention to these nightmares, or bad dreams that you're having that are resurfacing some of the things that caused you to be in this self-limiting belief. We have Mercury retrograde happening in November. Right after the Venus retrograde is over, boom, Mercury retrograde starts back. So after you start examining your relationships and how you attract love and how you give love, then you get right into examining why you think the way you do. What thought patterns have you allowed yourself to hold on to all this time? So really get into that. Because with that being in a 10th house energy, that's your legacy. What you leave behind on this earth is going to depend on if you can conquer those self-limiting beliefs so that you can move forward in this new confident place. Then you have the Justice card here in your 11th house, 11th card placement. Think about your associations with the public, your place in humanity, how you relate with friends, your social life. And there's Justice. And this is a good card to have here, especially toward the end of November. This being on the latter half of the astrological wheel, so toward the end of the cycle of the month, because you start off where people could be putting you in a box, or people feeling like, well, they're not gonna show up, they're not gonna step up to the plate, and then in the end, that 11 energy, there are so many 11 days in November. Plus, it's the 11th month in an 11 year. This is like Christ consciousness energy. You can arise as a whole new person at this time. Look at that. That 11, that equals 2, 2, 2. You really have some divine intervention, I feel like, going on in your life this month, Virgo. Starting with this reading, damn it. I'm going to give myself that credit. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, you really have some divine energy going on here. You really have a chance to make a complete change in your life, to really shift to a higher level of existence. You don't have to live in that anymore. It's like once you get through this dark period, you don't have to revisit any of this old past hurt again. Once you really examine what's going on, once you really diagnose yourself, once you really heal, you don't have to be in this place anymore where you allow opportunities to bypass you because you're too fearful to go at it 100%. By the end of November, with your social life, it's like you're balanced. Your heart is light. You stop trying to fight everything. You stop having an excuse for everything. You stop coming up with reasons why you can't do something and just do it. You can become that solid person that people can depend on, not just because, you're the meek person that's going to help organize stuff and, not for that type of, being the help energy, but for really being a powerhouse, you know, for really being a balanced individual. You can become known for that. You can do justice. Justice can be done for you. You can really start to feel like people see who you really are. Because, yeah, for now, they might write you off as somebody who will, yeah, we'll call on them when we need help doing blase, blase. But they don't really see you as like this strong powerhouse. I don't think people really know how smart, how strong, how capable you are, Virgo. But you have the ability to establish yourself as this solid force. Do yourself justice in relation to other people. And then here in this last card placement is the lovers. For this particular card placement, it's the energy of endings, things that need to come to an end, or endings that if they don't come to an end, you'll start a whole new cycle and repeat the same bullshit until you learn the lesson. And I feel like with this card, the lovers, you're learning the lesson because you choose to. You choose to integrate both your divine feminine and your divine masculine within yourself. Yeah, you may be, I feel like the divine feminine is stronger than the divine masculine right now. Divine masculine is physically strong, but everything else is a lot weaker. I feel like the divine feminine has had to become physically strong, on top of emotionally strong, on top of mentally strong to even survive in this current climate. The way the world is now, I feel like the divine feminine has had to become threefold as strong in strength. I mean, well, as strong in strength, well, whatever. Three times as strong as the divine masculine. But I feel like you integrate both sides of yourself. You become balanced with the balance card, and then the lovers is a choice. You choose to seek that balance within yourself so that you can be your best self, so that you're not limiting yourself, so that people can't put you in a box and say that you are, unreliable. When you know that you are reliable, you know that you are just as capable as anyone else, if not more. You know you can do the work. You just have to do it. Even the hard stuff, doing physical work, that's not hard for you. The hard work for you is going to be delving into those emotions, getting into that watery place that you don't really like to get, because earth and water is mud and you ain't really trying to get muddy like that. But I feel like you need to. You need to get dirty this month. Go back to the places that made you feel less than. Examine those relationships that made you feel like maybe you aren't lovable, so that you can heal that and get to a place where you can be vulnerable and open in your relationship, where you can give and accept love. Like, just sort through all of that mess, and I feel like you'll be good, Virgo. Be strong while you do it. Your blessings will come from that. You have a boost in your stability and your security, especially if you're in a relationship with somebody who's already like a spiritual person. I feel like at this point they're just waiting on you. They're waiting on you at the door. They're ready to love you. Like, on the other side of pain is everything you've ever wanted. They're already waiting on you. You just have to do the work. And as soon as you do it, boom, you got what you want. Security, stability. You got it. So thank you for watching, Virgo. I wish you the best. I'll be back shortly to do the Libra reading.